Okay, I have a few more vocabulary words that I need to cover, and so let's go right into that. First, I need to bring this up. Okay, here we go. So, a few more vocabulary words to cover for chapter 1. The term labor relations specialist. Labor relations specialist is for large companies, how they maintain good relations with employees. And there are different issues of labor relations across the world. What are concerns in the UAE are different than concerns in Germany or France or so forth. The term training specialist. Training specialists are those who teach very specialized skills. So a training specialist can teach people how to run this computer program, for example, this software, how to teaching people very special procedures at a hospital, for example. So training specialists are people who train very specific job skills. The term compensation manager. A compensation manager is somebody who looks at the compensation for employees, looks at this is what our company pays, and they're going to look at, are we being fair within the company? If this person's doing this work, making this salary, is that fair compared to other people in the company that they work? That's what it means by internal. And also, so that's what internal means. And they will also look at external conditions. External conditions are comparing what you're paying to your employees to what other companies, similar companies are paying their employees. So as always, in the world of management, internal means inside, external means outside. The term demographics. Demographics you need to know about demographics from the word diversity. Remember, diversity is all the different ways people can be different. So demographics questions would be like asking, how many people are there that are 20 to 30 years old? How many people do we have that are college educated? What are the nationalities of the people? How many people are Muslim? How many people are Christian? Gender. How many men do we have in this population? What's the percentage of women? So these are all things that are types of demographics. Demographics issue in the UAE, something that the UAE government talks about a lot, is that there are many, many young people coming into the workforce, and how does the government make sure that there's a chance for enough jobs for all of these young people coming in? So there's a very young population in the UAE. In Italy and Japan, it's exactly the opposite. They have a lot of very old people, and they don't have enough young people coming into the workforce. So demographics are putting a number to all these different characteristics. We've had outsourcing before. Outsourcing is anytime you have another company perform something for you. I've talked about Hadamard in class. I've talked about which Hadamard even outsourced into Berkeley. Anyhow, the cleaning and everything done at UAU has all been outsourced. The term offshore is slightly different. Offshore is moving a job literally out of the country to another country. So the example that I used in class is that more Americans now get their taxes done from somebody in India, because Americans have to do their own taxes. More Americans are having their taxes done by somebody in India than they do somebody in America. So that is major offshoring. I believe Etisalat does it in the UAE. I believe Etisalat, if you call in with questions to Etisalat, I believe you will have somebody answer the phone in another country. I know once when I called Etisalat, it was somebody in Egypt who answered the phone for me. So there is some math discussed in chapter 1. Absenteeism, that's the percentage of people who miss every day. The cost per hire, that is how much does it cost us to hire a new employee. Time to fill is how quickly we fill positions. It's a measure of how efficient the HR department is. Turnover rate. Turnover rate is the percentage of people that you have to replace in a given year. And when companies do this, they usually will compare other companies to themselves. So UAU, if the, hold on a second, I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn this off. So the turnover rate is very important to a company, and companies will compare themselves to like companies. And last but not least, yes, there is math in chapter 1, but I'm not going to ask any math on any tests, so don't worry about math. Strategy. Strategy means what you do, how you plan to do something. So I talked about in football, there will be some teams that will try to be aggressive and put their players out forward and try to score a lot. Other teams try to be defensive and keep their players back and keep the other team from scoring. So strategy is how you plan to win. In the business world, companies will create a strategic plan, and that strategic plan is the long-term, very important plan for how the company hopes to move forward. And that finishes, I think, finally, everything we need to know for chapter 1. That was a lot. Sorry for taking so long. Take care. Bye-bye.